It is January 28th, 2016, and I am in Budapest, Hungary. So there was an international incident of sorts just a couple of days ago between Russia and Germany concerning the handling by the German police, essentially by the administration of Angela Merkel, of the alleged rape of a 13-year-old Russian girl living in Germany. Now, this Russian teen was apparently walking home from school, going across a train station, when she disappeared, only to reappear 30 hours afterwards. In the course of which she was allegedly raped by multiple migrant men. The German police looked into the incident, and they did not find any evidence of rape whatsoever. According to the German police, this was at most consensual sexual activity between this Russian teen and the migrant men. Now, this reaction did not satisfy the Russian-speaking community in Germany. There's a fairly large Russian-speaking minority in Germany, primarily ethnic Germans who speak Russian, but also Russian Jews and other people who, for one reason or another, have a family or other connection with Russia or the former Soviet states, and therefore speak Russian and listen to Russian media. The Russian community in Germany is furious. They don't buy it. Now, of course, you have to understand the context. There have been numerous instances, particularly in Northern Europe, of police not taking criminal incidents, sexual criminal incidents, seriously, if the victim is a white female and the perpetrator is a Muslim male. The most famous example is, of course, Rotherham in the UK, where over 1,400 white children in care homes and kids in difficult situations were raped and sexually assaulted by the so-called grooming gangs, the Muslim grooming gangs. And you have horrible incidents in that case of torture and kidnapping and whatever. And it was allowed to take place because the police in Rotherham did not want to handle this matter. The politically correct thinking does not allow the authorities to really look at this situation with all its warts and because this is very disruptive of the official politically correct narrative of victimization of Muslim men in the hands of whoever. And this, of course, also follows the mass sexual attacks that we saw in Cologne, where thousands of Muslim men assaulted and robbed sexually, including rapes. Approximately 500 German women in just one night. So the Russian German community is not buying it, and they say this was a rape because they do not buy the police explanation that this 13-year-old kid just happened to be walking past the train station. You know, a 13-year-old kid. I mean, essentially, almost not even a teenager, essentially a child, was just walking home from school, going across the train station, and just decided to have consensual group sex with a bunch of migrants. And there was, in fact, a reporter, a Russian-speaking reporter, who really drilled down on this case and has been drilling down on this case. And what is the response of the German authorities to his investigation and to his diligence in trying to get to the bottom of this matter? He's facing a prison sentence. He's facing a prison sentence. A criminal complaint has been filed against him because of his reporting of this case. I mean, that just gives you an insight into the mentality of the elites that currently govern Northern Europe. You know, you cannot focus on the truth. You cannot investigate the truth if the consequence is that facts are revealed that go contrary to the official narrative. The narrative must be protected at all costs. It's the mentality of communism. The ideology the sanctity of the ideology needs to be preserved at all costs, no matter what the evidence may say. So if the evidence says otherwise, you disregard the evidence. And those who try to highlight or eliminate or cast attention on reality, they get punished and suppressed. But the fury of the Russian German community is such that you are having demonstrations just involving this particular incident, where hundreds of people just show up and demand answers from the German authorities, satisfactory answers from the German authorities. And the case has upset so many people that the Russian government at the highest levels has decided that it will now get involved. And the Russian government at the highest levels, the Kremlin, is accusing the Merkel administration of mishandling this case, of sweeping unpleasant facts under the rug out of politically correct considerations. And you know, this goes to a problem that Angela Merkel has. It seems that she does not understand the real world as it is right now, as opposed to when she was a young communist in Eastern Germany, a young and active communist in Eastern Germany, where information is just coming to us from all sorts of different directions, and things can be easily confirmed or proven wrong at the touch of a keystroke, and where people communicate very quickly and very readily, to the point that if she does something That does not make sense. That is inconsistent with the best interest of the German people. She will be quickly found out. No matter what, her opinion may be on the matter. Now, there's a problem with sexual abuse and other abuse of indigenous European women on the hands of migrants. I mean, just recently a 20-year-old German girl was pushed into the incoming train by a Muslim guy. Supposedly he had been living in Germany for quite a while, but it's the same type of behavior. And then in Sweden, that other politically correct paradise, this Christian Lebanese Swedish woman was stabbed to death by a supposedly 15-year-old Somalian migrant. I mean, who knows if the guy's 15? And in Sweden, all these adult men claim to be children in order to get a preferred treatment for their asylum applications. So there's a massive problem, and it's a very sensitive issue, because if there's something, I mean, if you want to open up the gates of hell, and you're a foreigner living in another society, you go ahead and you disrespect the local woman. You will get your head handed to you sooner or later in a platter. And both the perpetrators and the enablers of these people, they're going to get their heads handed to them sooner or later. So Angela Merkel needs to get a quick grip of the situation, because her administration is losing credibility. And what she's doing is not really addressing the problem. Instead, she's trying to suppress communication about that problem. Right now, she arrested 2 people for sponsoring an online discussion forum, supposedly far-right discussion forum that she did not approve of. Yeah, I mean, if I had looked at that forum, there was things that, I would have found some of the information useful, some of the information not so useful, but, it's just part of the way that you gather information coming from all sorts of different sources, and you come to your own personal opinion and conclusion about what's going on around you. Perfectly harmless stuff. Except for people who do not like to be criticized and who do not like their policies to be criticized. Essentially, autocrats, such as Angela Merkel. And that is how she is dealing with the migrant crisis. She's not dealing with the migrant crisis and the consequences of the migrant crisis through any effective means other than suppressing free speech about the consequences of her policies. And that's just not going to cut it, because the world is too interconnected. She's living in the past. The days of her East Germany communist youth are long gone. And her policies will be found out for what they are. And if she did indeed break the law by German law and act beyond the scope of her authority in letting 1.1 million migrants into the country, and if that breach of the law on her part had certain consequences, such as Cologne, such as the Paris attacks, she will be held personally responsible for that. Personally responsible, not as a leader, but as a person. All right, take care, guys. Bye.